Oh, excellent, Robert. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome along. Right. Nearly 2 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be joining you in a second on Discord. Okay, Mary, that's fine. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Yes, I'll, can you do bank transfer, Christine? Is that the best way? I'll send you the details in a bit. Welcome, everybody. Lovely to see you all virtually. No, you know, I can't play the song that I did because Facebook detects the backing track, and even though I paid for the backing track, it's copyrighted somewhere in Dubai. So it cuts out the sound. There's a few songs at the moment. So the copyright, even for the original, doesn't always exist. But a version of it might be registered somewhere else under copyright. So unfortunately, that song has gone. Right, I will get onto Discord in a second. No, my cough's all right. I'm a bit tickly today. I've just been running around and I've not been drinking enough. That's all. I'm not poorly at all. Only with my hay feverishness, which is pretty strong at the moment. Okay, let's stick some birdsong on because it's a grotty day. Now that music was brought to you by Brian, Rosemary's husband, who made that for me, which is lovely. I'm here, Brenda. I'm here. But my hand, I can't. You might feel that the screen is broken, but there's nothing going on. So I can't have something constantly going on, really, which is an issue. You're just gonna have to trust that it's there. Right, let me get onto Discord. I am really chilly today. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Hello, Wednesday people. Hello, hello. There's 24 of you. How have you all got into my kitchen without me spotting? Hello. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm just sharpening my pencils. Hello, Lou. Um, I know. Where are you all from today? Good morning. No snow in Canada. That's good. Oh, well done, Kathy. No snow. No snow in Canada. Because I know you have been snowed. Last week, wasn't it? It was quite bad for you. We've just got rain here. Been chatting, Sue. Oh, Nick, can you add Sarah to this afternoon? Sarah Wright, please. Sorry. Thank you. So, welcome, welcome. That's okay. Hi, Pat. Yeah, the sound of... I actually don't find the sound of rain that relaxing. I find the sound of water more relaxing, like waterfalls and things, more than raindrops. I suppose it depends what it's... If it's raindrops on tree leaves, I find that relaxing. It's funny, isn't it, what we find? No, I know, Sue. I know. I thought it unusual that you'd been chatting, Sue, because you're such a quiet little... timid person. That's all right, Sue. I won't go bankrupt if you haven't paid me for this second. I'm not going to kick you off right now because I can't reach the laptop, so you're all right. So yeah, a rose today. Whiskers on kittens, Liz, yes. Whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. Right, so yes, it's a simple one. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Oh, thank you. At least somebody's bought my book recently. That's good. I haven't plugged it for a while. That's nice. Thank you. Hopefully you'll find it useful. Oh, don't, Sue. Don't forget my shop roof leaks like anything. So when Kathy goes in, after a couple of days of rain, when she goes in, I text her to check my buckets and to check my little tubs that I have stashed in the eaves that collect the rainwater. But yes, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna put my little lamp on here just to brighten the desk up a little bit because it is dingy today. It's just a grey, miserly day for late spring. Right, are you all raring to go? Have you got your pencils ready and are you feeling floral? And it's lovely to have you with us, Chris, doing floral. Yeah, well, that's good. Well, you liked the last thing we did, didn't you? The flower meadow in acrylics. You see, if you didn't like to call it flowers, you could just call it a memento mori, couldn't you? Which makes it a little bit more masculine. It's lovely to have 25 of you with us today. Really, really lovely. We had a lovely mention from BBC Radio Oxford last Tuesday evening. I don't think I'd heard it when I'd spoken to you drawing people last week. I have shared a video of the sound of it on from my phone recording on the shop's Facebook page, and I thought it was just going to be a 20-second mention, but actually it was 5 minutes of the whole free class, and we've got a free watercolour class this Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, painting a bluebell wood on the shop page. I'm trying to do at least 1 or 2 a month during lockdown. It helps promote the classes and stuff like that. I know flowers aren't everybody's cup of tea, but the blend, it's if you look on it as a technique exercise, I actually don't enjoy painting flowers. I'm not a flowery person. I like looking at flowers, but that's about it really. And I like stargazer lilies. They're my favourite. I love the smell. My aim is I want to try and make paint out of the pollen from the stargazer lily, because it's such a strong, you know, if you get any of that lily pollen on you, it doesn't come off at all, does it? So I think it should be quite a nice pigment. So I don't know, maybe one day. Jackie, you're very poetic today on the artery response team. Hi, Vicky. Now, have we got Brenda? Are you there, Brenda? Come in, Brenda. Do come through if you're there, Brenda. Right, so I will start now, because I think almost everybody, yes. Okay, so hopefully Brenda's in the group. Thank you, Nick. But you'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we have had people with issues, but sadly the issues are often down to your own Wi-Fi or your own laptop or updates. Sadly, I'm not in charge of the internet. Otherwise, I'd give myself a much better signal than I've got here. But, right, so I'm going to do it portrait, but actually it's almost square, the actual flower, so you could do it whichever way around you like, to be honest. And it's all about the layering. We did we've had a bit of a Scottish theme this week already. Monday night we did Glenateeve in watercolours, and last night we did Glenateeve in pencil. And then today, Monday morning we did the Lake District, and this afternoon we're doing a rose. So yeah, it's quite nice. So depending on your range of pencils, a 2B or an HB if you're using the Swish Caran d'Ache pencils. I am doing it landscape, sorry. Yes. Hello, Brenda, welcome along. Yeah, I am doing it landscape, not portrait. Thank you for correcting me in my left ear. With the kids, I used to call it lamb steak and pork steak. So I'm doing it lamb steak today. What did we do last week? Oh, the cloisters. Oh, you all did such an amazing job. Flo, you did a brilliant job as well with your cloisters. Your perspective was wonderful. To say you were all getting a bit panicky and stressed about it, and I'm sure you all went through a wide range of emotions last week, and I know some of you ended up reaching for Mother's Ruin, but you all did so well, so good job. I'm looking forward to seeing what your roses look like this week. No, I haven't seen yours, Liz. I'm presuming there was just a problem with your Wi-Fi, so you couldn't send me the picture, maybe. I'm sure that was the reason. So let's think about the rose and let's look at the structure. Roses are actually a kind of good flower to play around with, because they can be stylized as easy as daisies and sunflowers and that kind of thing. It's in the shredder. Liz, it's really good kindling cartridge paper. You should never put it in the shredder. So you might think of the Rene McIntosh rose or the roses used in Art Nouveau and that kind of thing. And you can kind of see how they get this. Ignore the outer petals for the moment. Look at the closed area, and it's almost like a spiral. Hello, Janet. Welcome. Hello, Steph. I haven't started. I've only been waffling, so don't worry. I haven't missed anything. So if you think about it as a spiral, they wrap around each other, and then the petals are opposites, and they all wrap around. Now, I don't do botanical art. I do aesthetic flower painting, which is about how nice it looks rather than putting in all the bad bits as well. And we're going to just break it down like we do every week. And it's knowing where to start, what to do, and how to build up the image. So hopefully you're all with me. Hopefully you're all settled down and you're sitting comfortably. And then I can begin. We haven't got to make mess today. I mean, and hopefully you won't get in a mess. Now, the difference is we've got a white rose, haven't we? And we've got white paper. The only way our rose will actually stand out from the paper, and the only reason really this rose stands out and looks so nice, is the dark background behind, which I know is a scary thing, but we can look at that later. Oh, I slept funny last night. My neck really hurt. I think I must have slipped off my pillow. Oh, anyway, you didn't need to know that. Okay. So, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to sketch out what we did in last night's unedited class. I'll just quickly show you this, because, well, I'll take my pencil out of my mouth as well. The new Tuesday night class is the drawn to acrylics class. So 1 week we do drawing, and the following week, Tuesday evening, we do acrylics, but based on the same picture. So this was my drawing of Glennative last night, and then next week we'll do another picture, but a painting of the same scene. But here, and who was here last night? Amanda and Nick can vouch for this, that we broke it all down into basic shapes to start with to plan it out, and that's exactly what we're going to do with our rose. You have done that one in acrylics, yes. Which is why I'm doing it on a Tuesday night, because I know a lot of our normal acrylicers don't do Tuesday nights as well. So I'm going to look at the basic shapes here. So the centre part is round about 3 fingers wide for me. Obviously, it depends how big your hand is. But you can sort of work on a 3-finger basis. And, oh, nearly 4 fingers. 4 fingers. So it's a bit like a duck. I've drawn a duck egg. A bit of a duck egg. And I'm doing it light and loose. Hopefully it's dark enough that you can see it. And it's not reflecting too much, or it's... I can go a little bit darker for you if you want. So we're sort of working our way out. I'm just going to do a little oval on the top of there. I am chilly today. Yes, I didn't see your cloisters, did I, Sue? No. See me, red pen. No, Rosemary. All of you naughty people. See me. No. Right, all you lot. See, it's all the girls. See me after. See me after class. I'll sort you out. See, it never looks as bad as you think the week after. Right, so we've got our basic duck egg with a little oval hat on, and we can we can plan from there. I find it easier doing it this way than trying to draw it straight away. I find it easier. Obviously, this is my way. Oh, am I not, Sue? Okay, I'll let you off. Hopefully your rose will be more inspirational for you this week. And next week, next Wednesday, ooh, it's Portmaddock Harbour. But more of a distanty thing rather than something. I'll make it as simple as possible. How about Portmaddock Harbour at night in a power cut on black paper? Yeah. Right. So we'll look at relationships of space and what have you now. Now I know I'm going to do a little bit of a curve. Well, sort of a spiral. Like that. In a thick fog, yeah. Right, so build it up slowly. That's what we do. It helps keep the panic down to a minimum. I'm going to do a little line there. I'm just going to work out where the petals are. And then there's another bit that comes from that spiral up. And falls down the side, a bit like a worm trying to get on the top of an apple. It's all in the shading. The shading will make it look like a rose. Then I'm going to bring a line round like that. It has got an extra bit of a curve to the petal, so I might add that while I'm doing it. I'm doing it a little bit darker, just so you can see where to stick it. Just listen to the birds. I'm going to bring, oh bless you, I'm just going to bring a little line down there as well. So it's quite an interesting shape. But don't panic. That's all I will say. 29 of you, welcome, 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 welcome. It's lovely to have you with us. With me, with us, there's only me. I'll have to get more chairs out. I don't think I've got enough tea bags. Right, so I've got that little line there. And I'm going to do a little bit of a wavy line there, like a frilly top. But obviously this is all in the planning stage. What did I say last week, Liz? I say a lot of things. I never know what I say. I have some biscuits. I was pleasantly surprised that in some wise act, I've put my box of broken biscuits on regular order with the milkman, so that was quite a nice surprise. Yeah, but you never know what you're going to get in those. A little bit of a petal now coming out and over. Trust the process, trust the process. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, don't panic. Well, I will say it because I know the panic that ensues sometimes, especially when we find something slightly harder than we normally would do, or something different. And we are inundated with lines with something like this. It's a very linear thing until we shade it. So actually the top of this curve here, the bit that we haven't touched, is going to take another form of a petal. There. And obviously it doesn't have to look like this rose. It will end up looking like a rose. Word of caution. There has to be one, doesn't there? If you do too many petals on a rose and make them too small, it will look like a carnation. So wait until the end of the lesson and see how it turns out before you tell anybody what flower it is. It will look floral. But which flower? We don't know. So I'm doing a bit more of a flat line and a curve there. I'm just going to darken these lines a little more, just so you can see it. I think we'll sketch the whole thing out and then we can work on it. Well, it may look like a dead flower later, but I thought a white rose is actually easier to work on than a coloured rose, especially in pencil. So, do you know what? I think you've got to read the room, haven't you? I think we'll work on this section, then we can look at other stuff, other petals. So I'm going to sort of neaten some of these lines up and firm them. So you can see. Oh, there's another little petal there. Where did he come from? Would it help if I zoom in on this a little bit? I'm going to zoom in on it anyway. So I'm now going to look at a bit of shading to separate the petals. Oh, you've got rain too, have you, Kathy? Makes me feel a little bit better about things. So I'm still using the same pencil, but I want to shade, sort of following the grain of the petal. slightly darker in the lower parts of each petal. And what that will do is when we can make the lighter parts, it will make the lighter parts stand out a little bit more. If I do one so you can just see what I mean. I will blend these more. Just drawn the wrong line. So it's all about directional shading. Good, I'm glad that's helping you, Heather. So you look at where the lines are and how it forms. Did any of you watch Grayson Perry last night? His art club. I've got it to record because I didn't. Well, I was teaching last night, so I didn't see it. So it's a bit like this. Is a bit like how we do hills and mountains, because it's all about the layers. It'll come. I wouldn't expect anybody to get this in the first half an hour. Yeah, it will. Because the aim is so this doesn't look outlined. So where the outline is that we've drawn is going to be the start of the shading for going upwards. So basically the way this is working is your shading goes from the outline up. And you can do it in short little strokes as long as they sort of follow the contours. Because your pencil lines then will form the main shape for the petal. And if you can leave a lighter edge, I think it's channel 4, Sue, so you can watch it on catch up. I think it's being repeated on Monday at some point. All right. It's not surprising me, to be honest, because the centre of a rose is hard, but the principle of the whole rose is exactly the same, because you're layering the petals, so you have to go darker behind each petal. I could have done this lesson where we basically cover the whole page in graphite and rub out the petals for some that would work, for others it would just cause huge problems. So there's no right or wrong way of doing this. This is a good way to learn your shading techniques, to be honest. Wider petals are better than narrow ones. If you do this too small, you're going to cause yourself issues. So the bigger you go, the better it will be. Remember, I've said to you over other weeks that it makes life easier if you go bigger. But if you want, my advice would be just if you're sort of really struggling at the moment, just stop and watch what I'm doing and then do it. You know you don't have to do it within the confines of the lesson, so you might find it better just to watch for a few minutes and work out where I'm going and what I'm doing based on that. Because there are some areas that are light and some areas that are dark, and it's all little short linear lines. Right. What, the width of the duck egg? But most drawings and paintings within the first hour and a half aren't going to look good. And I know I say this almost every week. They won't look like what they're supposed to look like, because the issue is that oh, I've got my volume up. Let me. It should be all right. Drawing is exactly the same as watercolour painting. Exactly. It's identical in that you build up lights to darks, and until the darks are in, and Nick, you can vouch for this last night with our Glenative, until those dark rocks came in, it looked very flat, didn't it? So we were having to build up slowly. Well, yeah. Wait, but obviously we haven't got any. It will look like something, or it'll look like something from the Little Shop of Horrors. It's going to look not like a rose because we haven't actually drawn the main essential part that makes it a rose. We're just working on the central part. If I'd got you to draw out all of the petals to start with, that would cause blind panic and you wouldn't know which line you're working from. So trust the process that this will do what it's supposed to. Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying now to eliminate some of those lines, and you can see which bits in front, which bits behind, and unfortunately, unless I spent 5 or 6 hours numbering all of these petals and you all have the same numbers of petals, it's more of a lesson in observation, and copying. It's all the same colour though, Nick. Well, possibly. I'm not doing it. You posted the what? Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, it was him. Definitely. So the pencil lines follow the grain of the petal. So they're twisted, these are, so they're going to work in a different way. Sort of, if you think about it, if I just jump a little bit, this is going to be going this way, look, on this petal. But then, let me get me a nice clean edge here. But this one is going to be coming in this direction. So that's going that way, and that's going that way. Well, I have to go ahead, don't I? If I don't go ahead, then everybody will panic anyway. Whatever I do is going to cause people stress and panic, so I'm just doing it. Do you know the reason? The reason is I don't think about it, and that is where, as you get more proficient in learning, you'll find that the thinking about it is your downfall. Because the more you try, and it's the same as when you do rocks or clouds or hills or anything, the more you think about it, the more they look exactly the same, and the more you go, I can't do this, this is hard, or I need to get this exact shape. Just shove some pencil on your paper and work with it instead of constantly assessing where you are at this point. I can honestly say, at this point in this drawing, I do not care whether it resembles that rose or whether it resembles a rose or not, because I know I can change it when I do the rest of it. If I spend too much time trying to get this like that rose, A, lockdown will be over, and B, it won't still look like that rose. So I'll only cause myself disappointment. So by just getting on and shoving some pencil on your paper, your life will be so much better. Now, as you know, I'm a big worrier about everything, but not when it comes to this, because I know I've got an eraser if I really make a mess, or I just won't, nobody's going to see this picture, you know, to compare it to. And we haven't even got half of the rose sketched out. So it really doesn't matter. Oh, I'm glad Grayson was saying, I'm glad he listened to me, Liz. And I'm glad he was saying that, because I'm always telling Grayson just to get some paint and get some pencil on there. But it's true. You shove the colour on or shove the graphite on, and then worry about it later. It really is... and that's why I know the angle that the petals are going, because I can see the gradient, I can see the grooves in the petals, so I know the direction that my pencil needs to go. And then I do it. Now, if you notice, although this is a white rose, there's actually not a lot of white in it. If we were going to do this in watercolour, we'd end up having to use yellows and blues. Look how much blue shading is in that colour. It's amazing, really. Yeah. Yeah, is it when you sort of let your brain wander a little, you know what I mean? And sort of, yeah. Yeah, basically, do a bit of scribble. Scribble is your friend. And again, I'm still using the same pencil, more so on its side. And when I draw anything, or paint, whatever I'm doing really, I sort of have the pencil on its side, and I look beyond the picture, and I can just see shapes of tone. And it's those shapes of tone that will help. And if I'm losing the lines, I just press down a little bit harder on the divide. And it brings it forward. But you'll also have 10 minutes to catch up when I put the kettle on. Because I've got to make a 27. I've got to make 27 cups of tea, Nick. So it's going to take me a while. I have got lots of loose leaf. I've given up on the centre for the minute, and I'm working on the bits that I know I can see, and then it'll either make sense, or I'll just have to rub a few bits out or outline a little bit heavier. Yeah. Yes, Audrey too. Feed me, Seymour. Yeah, well, I mean, I will go darker afterwards when I get to the outer petals, but I'm trying to do as much as I can with the 2B. I might get my smudgy stick out just to do a bit of blending. Jackie, you've got your tea and oh, I've got a little bit of cake as well. Yeah. So once you've got once the outside petals are in, it will change the shape again. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Either in a camera or in a mirror. It means your Wi-Fi has ended, Anne. Your Wi-Fi is weak, or your internet connection is weak, and it means that your live feed has stopped working because you can't access it. So you might need to just reload it and then join us again. So you can see, just by darkening a few bits and smudging a few bits, it works quite well. Still with the same pencil. I don't know. I'm just wondering if we've got a Big Ben moment. We're not recreating Elizabeth Tower, are we, Rosemary? Okay. Okay, well, that's good. Okay. Oh, sounds intriguing. When did I did a book years ago now. It's available on Amazon as a download or for your Kindle or as a hardback copy. Thank you, Chris. It's 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 a good job you're over there, Mister. But no, it's more of a reference book rather than it's kind of like reminders, like having me in the room on colour mixing, on different techniques for different things. There's a few projects and things on there that you can learn through. It's sold quite well. I mean, it's self-published. There are errors on there, but it's just me. It's if you go into Amazon and just type in Barry Whitehouse, there's a few. I've got a children's book about dragons that I wrote, and the art book's just called Simple Start. I'll probably have to do a new edition soon. I mean, that took me 20 years to do. Yeah, because there's a few extra things that I could add. And I can take stills from some of the class lessons that are recorded. Yeah, keep clean, Nick. Keep clean. Facebook, you're very quiet. Oh, actually, they're talking about fat rascal cakes. Okay, I'll let you off. Jackie's got them talking about food. We always end up talking about food in these classes, don't we? Now, I'm going to have to stop myself, because if I'm not careful, this is going to start looking like a white rose. So I'll lightly dab with a bit of my graphite, with a bit of my putty rubber, just to take some of the excess graphite off. So it will keep the tones, but it will just lighten it. And then I will put on the kettle. It will change its how it looks, Liz. Once the outer petals are on, because if you think, we've only got this section, and I can count another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petals that we need to draw, which will go on the outside, and they'll be much lighter than the rest of it. So this is just the inside bit of the rose. Is it not good but amazing, Glue? Is that how it's going to be? It will change. It'll be fine. Right. I am zoomed in quite well, aren't I? Yes, right. I'm going to go and put the kettle on. Might stick some whiskey in my coffee. Right. Ooh. Right. We're all still there, that's good. Nobody's done a runner. You might, well you might have, you could just keep it running and then go off and do stuff, I suppose. Right. We'll abandon this section for a minute and we'll come back to it. I'm going to start looking at petals now, the outer petals, and sketching a few of those in at a time. So if we look at this one, which is the left hand side one, there's a bit of a line that comes there and it comes round and down and then up and round to about there. That's still on the screen, isn't it? Yes. Let's move. Instead of me trying to move the phone, I'll just move the board, the pad, I mean. So that is oh, we must have had the music on for an hour because I've only got an hour of birdsong. So let's get Mr. Blackbird back. Now this one is slightly paler as it gets further out because there's a little bit less shadow to it. Which one? No, it's only one finger for me. Yeah. This petal that I'm drawing now. Yeah, it just looks wider. Look, there you go. I've got fat fingers though. My dad had massive hands. No, this isn't the big outer one. Hang on, let me just bring the picture in, Liz. It's this one. It's that one. Then we'll go on to that one. Then we'll draw that one. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Then I'll do that one and that one. Then I'll do that one, then that one. Okay? So we're doing 1, 2, 3. I have now numbered the petals. I can't believe I have done that. Right. So this is a lighter shade, still all with the 2B this is. And in fact I need to trim that there, yes. So if I'm going to get rid of my extra lines that I don't want to cause too much confusion. I don't mind causing some. What biscuit you got, Rosemary? Well, that's no... What's the point of having a tea maker if they're not available to make your tea when you need it? That's awful. So I'm doing this one lightly. Oh, I've lost 2 of you. Where have you gone? Yeah, maybe. So it is... I think if we do 1 petal at a time now. And I'm putting less graphite on each petal because I want it to still resemble a white rose. No, you could, all it is, Nick, if, I mean, let me see if I can find a cleaner one. Yeah, look, all it is, look, it is, oh, there's the camera. It's, if I unwrap a bit, it's basically just heavily wound paper sanded to a point. So that's the element of it. It's just loads and loads of paper really tight, sanded, so it you don't see the roll of paper. But that's what I taught it on this. It is just a roll of paper. So it's as you start to add the extra bits on. So the next petal sort of comes out there. And we'll look at the shape, and we've got a bit of a curve there. And then, oh, I've got my jumper caught. And then it sort of curves around with a line like that. We've shocking. I was saying in the class last night. I paid £6 to boost the free online class for Saturday, Because normally we only have sort of, in our normal demonstrations, we might only have about 20 people view it while it's happening. But this online event that I've set up for Saturday, nearly 700 people now have said they're either interested or going to do it, including one of the staff from St Cuthbert's Mill, Chris. Yeah. I saw that she commented on it, and I thought, I know that name. Why do I know that name? Because she said, "Oh, we're gonna have a go too. I've worked with the guy who runs this," and I thought, "Who are you?" So I then did a bit of Facebook stalking, and then turns out she works for St Cuthbert's Mill, and I have worked with her because if you remember, St Cuthbert's Mill did they had a section in Art Fest our first year. Paul Weaver, yeah. So it'd be nice to have St Cuthbert's Mill. Maybe they'll promote it. I don't know. Bockingford, yes. Yeah. Well, St Cuthbert's Mill makes Bockingford, Waterman, Saunders, Waterford, and yeah. It's all the same mill. It's a British mill, but it's now owned. St Cuthbert's Mill is now owned by an Italian company. It was bought out about 2 or 3 years ago. No, it's money. Money talks. Everything gets bought out. Frustrating. I think the only British paper mill, actual paper mill now, is Two Rivers Paint Company. Now, Janet, you'll probably remember Whack with the Art Society when we used to meet in the RVS Centre. Two Rivers came and did a demo of how to make paper for us. Do you remember? Don't worry about commenting now if you can't. But he came and I think that's down south, Two Rivers, and I think St Cuthbert's Mill is more southern. But it is sad that nearly all of the paper mills have left the UK over the years, or closed because of people aren't using it as much, or people are buying from abroad, or it's cheaper from abroad. Sea White, the brands that we have in, they make their own. They get their own paper made in the UK. So they must have a sort of space to do that, haven't they? Otherwise they wouldn't be able to. But yeah, it's a shame. Pro Arte, yes, they're British. They're one of the few British brush manufacturers. Because Dale Rowney make. I think they're American now. Dale Rowney, and they make brushes in the Commonwealth, not necessarily in this country, but Pro Arte's made England. It's a proper British brand. Rosemary & Co are another British brand that you might have heard of. We used to stock some Rosemary & Co, but every time we ordered they kept saying that we didn't have an account with them, so we had to open a new account with them. But once that happened a few times I got a bit fed up. Yeah, it's gorgeous stuff. We can get anything in from Pro Art once it's all reopened, and I only have to order one of some of them or what have you, but we do have a really wide range of Pro Art in. It's the main brand now of brush that we sell. Derwent is now also owned by another company, Liz. It's owned by ACCO, ACCO, which is the stationery company. So if you own a ring binder or something. That might be made by Acco. So Derwent is still English, I think, but a brand. Reeves is a brand. Winsor & Newton is a brand. So Winsor & Newton, Liquitex, Snazaroo face paint, Humbrol, Reeves, all owned by a company called Collart. So they're all brands. They're not companies anymore. So, yes. So Derwent is now a subsidiary brand of Acco Stationers. They have, absolutely. Thames Board Mill, so that's interesting to see. Right. We're getting there. This is sort of ending up going to go off the edge of my page if I'm not careful. So round about there, I've got like a sharp line. That curves up. Oh, then we've got a little devil face with little Batman. It's Batman. Like that. Look at that. That looks a weird shape, doesn't it? I'm going to move it down because you can't see. Yeah, this is the last petal, the outer petal on this bit. Yeah, I'm doing it very aesthetic, you see. Having it off centre. That's what I'm going to tell myself. But hopefully you can see how it's starting to take shape. Well, mine is starting to take shape as a rose. Obviously, I can't vouch for yours, but I'm sure it's going to look amazing. It is a bit like Batman or Mr. Ray from Finding Nemo. Oh, I love Finding Nemo. It's one of my favourite Disney films. I need to point that up a little bit. Beauty and the Beast, you see, I love. Anything I can sing and give it some welly to. Also, Collart is actually now not a British brand that owns Winsor & Newton and Liquitex. It's actually Swedish. I've just been informed. Do you know how many of the Old Town shop owners are getting on? Yeah, I'm in touch with nearly everybody through the Old Town groups, Liz. They're all doing all right. Obviously, some of the, like Lenny's Lenny's Cafe Wine Bar has become a takeaway, and the Old Auctioneer has become a takeaway. A few of the other shops have got their own shop appy sites as well, the same way as we have, and they're selling a few bits online. Sheila's Sweets is doing really well online. And in fact, I'm probably going to order some, because every Saturday after work I always used to call into Sheila's Sweets, you see, to get some jelly beans or jelly babies or dolly mixtures, because I love all of those. And obviously that's gone. Because of the lockdown, I'm not in town. So I will be ordering from Sheila's Sweets on Shop Appy. They deliver to a 6-mile radius of Banbury. So if you go to shopappy.com/Banbury, you can see all of the shops that are on there. There's a few shops on there. We haven't got stock because obviously everything's shut. But we've got gift vouchers and you can pay for classes. So people who don't use Bax or don't use PayPal can buy the classes through Shop Appy. I've also got colour mixing lessons that you can be sent a link to, half-hour videos on colour mixing that are available through Shop Appy, and then I send you the link. It's through a closed link on YouTube, so only the people with the link will be able to access it, but you get unlimited access, and it's on offer for £4. For colour mixing, I've got one on mixing greens, purples and oranges in watercolour. Then I've got another one for mixing browns and other greys in useful colours. Then I have another video on complementary colours, how to mix them and what to do with them. So those 3 are on there as well. But I think the health food store is online on Shop Appy from George Street. I think the eco shop that's in the Nothing But Footprints in the Castle Quay, that is on Shop Appy. The Business Improvement District has helped try to get as many businesses as possible on to Shop Appy. But Kathy and Roger, they're doing all right. I text them almost every other day, so I know they're all right. Amy, the girl that works for the tattoo studio, lives in Bletchington, and her boyfriend was made redundant. Well, not redundant, but he's self-employed at a pub he worked at in the kitchen. But the pub has let them have the kitchen, so they're doing takeaway now for people in Bletchington. So, no, I think everybody's... Yeah, Doodle Dash is selling all of their chalk paints and stuff online still. So what you find with most of us self-employed business owners is that we find a way. We find a way to get through and make ends meet, while still being legal, obviously. Kathy's not doing anything. She's just enjoying... Kathy's just enjoying relaxing. Because obviously the cafe can't open, and she doesn't really do anything as such that would be a takeaway. And we've already got several businesses that in the street, like Lenny's and the Old Auctioneer, that would be doing teas and coffees as takeaway and stuff. So it doesn't seem the right thing. And Roger, the tattoo guy, obviously he can't work because you can't do it. I mean, dentists and all sorts are shut, aren't they, at the moment? Yeah. Yeah, my dentist is a private dentist, and it is not open for emergencies at all. It refuses to open. And I could have done with them, but never mind. But yeah, so everybody's doing all right. Everyone's hanging in there. We've, I think most of us has been able to access the... those of us that get a business rates bill, even though we don't pay business rates, have been able to access the government grant. Obviously with me and those of us with staff have got them on furlough, and we should be able to start claiming the job retention scheme money back at some point soon. And then in mid-May, early June, I might even get some wages myself I'll be able to claim for. So that'll be quite nice. I'm managing to scrape enough by just to pay for my Wi-Fi and my food, because they're the two most important things in this building at the moment to make me function. I don't need to pay for petrol because I'm not driving anywhere. My landlord's been really, really generous regarding my house rent for a couple of months. Which dentist was back? So, you may have lost me. If you've lost me, oh, that's good. Oh, really? How did you get through, Liz? Because I'm with Amsel and Wilkins, and I've tried ringing no end of times, and they won't answer the phone. Maybe they've got my number and they just don't want to talk to me. Yes, I'm back, Louise. There was my dentist is Amsel and Wilkins, Liz, but I've rung several days now, and they haven't answered. Yeah, refresh it. My internet was interrupted for about 0.3 of a second, but it does mean that some of you might have to refresh the image, and that's all right. I'll waft my hand about so you can see that I am still there. I am. There we go. Okay. So, how are we doing? We've still got an hour to go. So you're doing really well. And we'll look at. I'll let you catch up for a minute because obviously of the interruption and stuff, and then we'll do another 2 petals, and then we'll do another 3 petals, and then I want to show you how I can we can build up the colours a little bit. But you can see how it's making the rose a little bit lighter. I might just lift out with my eraser just a few other bits, so it feels a little bit lighter in general. What, mine? Or yours? Well, it might still look like a white rose once once the other petals are in, which are much paler apart from the lower 2, what I want to do is darken behind with my graphite stick. And that should lighten it up, because at the moment we're on white paper, aren't we? So the grey is the darkest colour on there. But if I can make the background black, then it will make this look white. You'll see when it's done, honestly. Oh really? That cobweb drawing was ages ago, Janice, wasn't it? Blimey. Yes, I remember that drawing well. I think a lot of you did some stunning pieces. Those of you that persevered with the lines. It was fantastic. I will start the other side shortly, but I'll try and be patient. I'm going to try it, yeah, to see what it'll look like with a 9B graphite stick, and hopefully it will bring out the light shapes of the petals. And make the rose look white. That's what I'm aiming to do as my big showpiece, my show-stopping finish for you. Because I haven't got my tap shoes on today. So I think for my big finale will be the dark background, and it'll either be amazing or it'll look awful. But either way, you can have some smug satisfaction before you go. So it looks a bit weird now because we're very off-centered, aren't we? We've got all the petals on the one side, so we'll balance it out. Oh, I see, Janice. Okay. Gosh, those clouds are scudding by when I'm looking through the window. Must be quite blustery out there. What is it they say on Winnie the Pooh? It's Wednesday, isn't it? Happy Wednesday, everybody. Oh, bother. Right. I can sense that you're all doing really well. That's why you're quiet. My creative senses are tingling, and I just know. Yeah. Have you, Chris? Oh, do I sound shocked? Oh, okay. Oh, blimey. You're ahead of me today, Chris. No, that's fine. So I've just sketched out that the next petal. There is going to be another one that I'll sketch this in to save confusion, or add to it. Don't know. Oh, I can move it down, look, I think. Let me move the pad down. Moving now. There we go. You can see that now. I forget I'm zoomed in, you see. But it does help, I think, the zooming, doesn't it? So again, follow the contours. And if it feels a bit off center and off balance at this point, we can fatten it out at the bottom. This is going to fill almost all of my page, I think. Oh, hello, is that me? Sounded like me. I hate the sound of my voice. So I'm sketching in the shadows. Looks like water droplets on here. We won't be doing water droplets. That's a whole other lesson. See, I am nice, despite the rumours. Right. I'm here. See what it looks like as it develops. See, I need to extend that petal. I think my rose is going to be huge. Life size, this is. I actually think most of us small businesses have been able to adapt far better than the big companies. you find it's the little shops, even when the weather changes, we can adapt more. Yeah. Well, we're used to having to think on our feet. I think that's the big thing. Just using my smudgy stick now just to get some tone in, so you can just see the difference. Oh no, Sue, you had a power cut. Everything's back on now, I presume. We've got all the HS2 work still going on. I've still got roadworks outside. I've got traffic lights outside my house and cones. Yeah, I think this is week. Well, they're doing nothing outside my house. It is further up the road they're doing it, but they're controlling the traffic here. Yeah. Apparently it's HS2 stuff. I think, Liz, they seem to forget about small businesses. A lot of the news are quick to jump on things. But to be fair, most businesses, nearly every business in the country, will have had, if you have business premises, you will either be eligible for a £10,000 business rate relief grant or a £10,000 council grant, which should cover most businesses for 2 or 3 months while we're closed. If you have your staff on furlough, you will be able to claim 80% of your staff's wages back. So your staff are still getting paid. It may not be as much as normal, but they're still getting paid a lot more than job seekers allowance and that kind of thing. And as a self-employed person, you are then allowed to claim up to £2,500 a month of your own wages back from the end of May. So, to be honest, I can't understand how very many businesses will go under after this. As long as they've been paying their staff legally, they can claim. As long as they've been doing all of the things that they should be doing, they should be able to get something back. And if all of the workforce is going, and as long as this lockdown doesn't go on for too long, but what will happen, I think, what will have a massive effect on the small businesses is if we all go back to work, say next month or in June, and then we get a second wave, which is possibly predicted around about October, November time, and then we're forced into lockdown again, many businesses won't survive. I know retail food have all been warned to make sure they have enough food supply orders for October and November to allow for the fact that there may be a second wave and a second lockdown. Absolutely. So I think a lot of businesses will recover. What I'm doing is, whenever I can see any stock that I can order, it's not stuff that most of you will normally need, and I have no way of getting it to you from here anyway. But I'm doing an order. We've opened up an account with Bloomsbury Press. Now we haven't got a bookshop, and I'll be ordering some art books as well. So there's lots of things that I'll be doing. I plan to hit the ground running. Now, obviously, cafes are going to be really difficult. Cafes, pubs, and those kind of things. You're right. That's going to be the most trying part because of distancing. I think they'd have to really, I suppose, do more takeaway type stuff, takeout, so you can call in for your coffee, but you can't sit in and drink it, kind of thing, or maybe remove a few tables and chairs. It's much harder to do social distancing. I mean, I've ordered a sneeze screen for my shop, which goes on our shop counter to protect the staff from moisture. And I will be allowing only one customer in the into the shop at a time, and I'll have taped arrows so you go round that middle area where the pencils are and get through to the counter that way. So it's about making plans. So I'm fairly confident that we'll fare okay, and actually quite a few people who have joined us online who are in the UK who don't have art shops near them have all said that they would like to support us when our Shop Happy page starts selling again. So it's really comforting, and I just hope that everybody will. But yeah, cafes and pubs I think are the trickiest. But I know pubs have had grants from brewery and the government, so it should be okay. I don't think it'll be any worse for many businesses than the last recession. And I think a lot of people, when they're allowed to get out, will, as they say, spend like a sailor, because of having that freedom. No, I'm still here, Anne. Hello, Anne. I'm still here. I've moved the pad, sorry. No, I know. I think, but to me, even if it isn't real, why would you take a chance? I'm not prepared to. You know, I'm a firm believer of plan for the worst and hope for the best, and that's how I've run everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think society will get back to normal or be the same as it has been for quite a while after this. But I think some changes will be for the better. I really do. One thing that I really am encouraged by, and I know I've said this to you all before, is just how many people are turning to art and music and all these things that schools have previously had no time for, because there's a big push on maths, literacy and science, which is fine, but the non-academic children will hopefully now get the chance to shine, as it's seen that, you know, none of you have joined a hedge fund manager's Facebook live feed, have you? You know, because what are they going to offer you in times of this kind of problem and stress? You've all turned to the creative side, that those are creative, and I've got a lot of friends who are in the music industry who are doing live shows and all of that kind of thing, and people are lapping it up because it's something that we need a bit of comfort. So hopefully society's views on art and the arts and culture will improve. Yeah, I will be in a second. Yeah, I've zoomed out. I'm just fiddling at the minute. I'm just fiddling, but I'm going to pop in. You see, there's another petal now here. And that comes there like that. It's amazing, actually. I haven't swapped pencils. I don't know if I will. I might keep it all with this 2B or HB, or which 2B or not to be, whichever one I'm using. Oh, my paper stump is falling off my desk. I just need to refresh my feed. My video's decided, my laptop's just decided not to play. How's your dark background work, Chris? Good. Oh, okay, good. I know that is the thing. Will it look like a white rose once we've got the dark? Oh, you're looking. Oh, it's a bit brighter actually. The grey sky is still there, but it's a lighter shade of grey. I haven't got anything blue yet. Yeah. So just two petals left. One there, a really curvy one there, and another one. I'm quickly going to nip to the loo. I've had too much to drink. I've been drinking a lot of tea today, but I think I should have been drinking water. Okay, so 2 more petals. And then I can show you the background. Hopefully you're enjoying this a little bit. It was supposed to be a relaxing lesson, but who knows. Good, thank you, Anne. You can come again. It should all start to take shape a little bit now. It will get there. It will get there. I've been interrupted again. Yeah, you'll have to refresh. You'll have to refresh, guys, if I'm... I think everybody in my village and Cropredy as well, because my internet box apparently is 4 kilometres away, so there's a lot of houses before you get to my house of people wanting to get online. Although the Wi-Fi here is actually better than the one at the shop, which is a little bit odd. You wouldn't think it. For 4.5. It's in Cropredy, I think. Apparently, so I was told. My main exchange for my house. 4.5 kilometres. The main thing. See, I thought it was a bit too far. I think there's a sub the other side of the village, but that's a mile away. There's no box. I think we've only got 1 box in our whole village, which is near the garden centre, and I don't live near the garden centre. I thought we got an elephant in the room. A chrysophant. So just build up your tone. And don't forget, if you've missed anything because of either your internet signal going or my internet signal going, you can always catch up again later. And miss a bit, do a bit, miss a bit. But it is hard to get the paint, because obviously if we were doing this in watercolours, I would be using blues and cadmium yellows to get the shading in, so I'd still have the idea of white. But here we haven't got that option, so it is more of a, hopefully, maybe I can do a dark background, really dark background, to bring out the light, which is why I've kept it to the lightest shade of pencil possible, so it won't, hopefully, go a different colour, and it will stay a nice white tone. I don't know. I won't know until I put the dark on. I am definitely going to do that though. Hey, that's good. Art for the Anxious tomorrow. It's the boat on a shore in acrylics. It'll be all right. Don't forget, Art for the Anxious is supposed to be less scary. Yeah, Thursday morning. Yeah. Frustrating. So just build up. I'm just fiddling a little bit. I'm spotting areas that just need to change a little. And I'm determined. Well, you can be anxious about anything, yeah. It's actually art that makes me, it's art students that make me anxious. That's what the lesson is. Because I don't actually qualify who actually is, who is the anxious one in those lessons. But it's usually good. I try and find nice, simple methods to work. And we do a bit of, so it's Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock. And we do a bit of everything, actually. 1 week we might do drawing. We did watercolours last week, didn't we? Acrylics this week. Oh, yeah, pastel the week. No, it was pastel last week, wasn't it? Yeah, pastel was last week. So we did the burning candle last week. Watercolours the week before. And acrylics tomorrow. So we try and vary it, really. So if you're not sure what you want to do, especially while they're all... well, actually, the online classes are always going to be £5 anyway. So even if you're dipping in now, you can still pay £5 to access the online classes, even after lockdown. So it's a good one to do, the Art for the Anxious, because we do a bit of everything. which is well worth, if you're not sure, you know, if you haven't got a favourite medium, or you know how you're going to go with it all, go with Art for the Anxious. Yeah, it does sound like he's finished, doesn't it? Does it look nice, Anne? What, is it darker than mine, Chris? But dramatic. It's more aesthetic. Well, I'll be putting a background on shortly. Okay, you've got half an hour left, haven't we? So but basically, it's all about contrast, isn't it? So where you want something dark, make something else against it lighter. Where you want something light, make something against it darker. So light against dark works every single time. So if you want a light petal to stand out, make it darker behind it. If you want a dark petal to stand out, make it whiter behind it. And that way it stops looking less outlined and more intentional. Yeah, chiaroscuro, that is it. Well done. Looking forward to it, Chris. I am. Oh, good. I'm glad, Anne. I'm glad. Yes, a Yorkshire Rose. Yeah, absolutely. Huh. Oh, Chris, it's just flagged up that you've added a photo. I'll have to have a look later. Nick will be on there, I reckon. Right, so I'm gonna. It's 4:05. So what I want to do is I'm going to use a 9B, a mix of a 9B pencil and a 9B graphite stick, just to darken behind. I'm going to do a little bit so you can so you can see. So the darker I can do this, those of you that are really good technological whizzes, so that's Nick and Kevin. There might be others of you watching that are technological, so I do apologise, but I know that Nick and Kevin are. You could almost Photoshop your rose onto a darker background to see what it will look like. And it does. I mean, if you look, even though I've just done that, look how much those petals are standing out. This is a 9B. So I'm going round the edge, an area with the 9B, or an 8B, as long as it's the darkest grade you've got. So if yours only go up to 6B, use a 6B. If yours go up to 8 or 9B, use an 8 or 9B. If you could use a charcoal stick, absolutely. Whatever you can get to get the dark. But I'm going to switch to a graphite stick shortly. And I suppose I ought to indicate where these leaves are. Switch to a graphite stick, and it will give me texture because it will pick up the texture of the paper. It will shake a little. And then once I've got this dark graphite on my paper stump, it's just I'm using the paper the graphite stick on its side, and it's just the slight texture of my paper. But I am going to sort of smooth it out now. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it when I'm using a normal pencil. It only really shows up with the graphite stick. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's good, but it's not intentional. Apologies if the camera's shaking as I'm vigorously rubbing this in. I've changed it. Well, I've kind of lost them now. So I'll bring them back in a sec. But I'm just, I need to go around some of these petals again. The lower petals I haven't really edged with the pencil. I'll do that now. So in answer, I haven't done anything to create the leaves yet, but I will in a second. You see, if I sort of go darker still with this 9B, look, I can almost create an illusion of a leaf. So you can see I've used a little bit more pressure with the 9B to just give me the idea that I've got some leaf shapes. And then I might lift out a little bit with the putty rubber. Maybe, I don't know. But I just want to get a nice defined edge. Not use the battery rubber today because I wanted more subtle tones. Just use a little bit of this 9B in some of the really darker areas of the flower while I've got it, so it doesn't look like it's a totally separate entity from the background. Oh, I need to sharpen my pencil. So again, it's all about light and dark. If you want something to look lighter, make it darker behind. And you can see how putting that darker tone has really brought the leaves out and made them look lighter. So it is worth persevering with this picture, even if you're not at the same point at the moment and you're going to give yourself a little bit more time to work on it. Well worth it. But don't forget, 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, free watercolour class on the shop Facebook page, and it's doing bluebell wood. Yeah. I had a lot of messages on Saturday from people saying, I can't see the lesson. And I said, because it's next Saturday. You'll see it next Saturday, not this Saturday. It is. It's sort of like I had somebody asking about the calligraphy class on Saturday, and it's not this Saturday anyway. It's normally the second Saturday of the month. However, this month it's the third Saturday. Never on the first Saturday, because the first Saturday is traditionally my demo day. But I've forgone the demos to do the live lessons. Because I think it tends to have a bigger impact. I'm not, I don't think, going to do any more it's worth it though. I think it's definitely worth fiddling with, but you can see from my image that it looks like a paler looking rose than it started with, and that's purely down to the black background or the dark background. So that's so charcoal would work quite well for your black background, but not if you put a lot of graphite on already. It kind of doesn't stick. But do let me know how you get on when you're finished. Obviously, don't feel that you've got to just rush it now just because I finished. Because I probably haven't finished. I think in terms of a lesson, I've gone as far as I can. But I'm sure you can all fiddle away as much as you need to over the next coming days or weeks if you need it. I might use my battery rubber just to give me a nice edge on some of the petals, but I don't know if that will work. Yeah. No, still haven't had yours, Rosemary. But as I said, for some of the things, a rep sent me a few files yesterday mid-morning, but I didn't get them until midnight. Yeah. Well, I'm sending email replies out, so if you don't get a reply tomorrow, know that it hasn't arrived. But I'll try and remember to message you. But I'm back-to-back classes tomorrow, so I probably won't. I might, if it crops up, I will. You know, if I see it as it's saying that you've got an email, I've got an email from you, then I will. Okay, well, I'll see, because, but yes, yeah, yeah, yes, I've deliberately done that, because, I can envisage all things getting quite complicated and things tagged that shouldn't be tagged and things in the wrong tag. Yeah, you can, but I've changed it, just because we do spend a lot of time doing tech support as it is, and I didn't really want another thing for us to have to sort out as well. So I'm just adding the tags myself as I go through it. It's just easier that way, than trying to explain more technology. Right, I'm fiddling and I shouldn't be. Right, I'm not doing any more. I think that looks all right, you know. I'm not displeased with that. But the dark background does work quite well. So, as ever, thank you so much for your company, all 20 odd of you, however many of you stuck with it. I'd love to see it when you post your pictures. So do if you're fairly pleased with them. Next week, it's Portmaddock Harbour. Tomorrow morning is a rowing boat on a beach in acrylics. And then Saturday, we've got the free online class on the shop page. If you like your vintage music, there is a Facebook group that is doing a full weekend of vintage music on Saturday and Sunday. I'm on at 5:30, but I will be streaming it from my own singing page, and I'll be doing an hour of Rat Pack music this Saturday at 4:30 for an hour, and then on Sunday I'll be doing half an hour of duets. So if you... What's that, Chris? Oh, Friday afternoon is yes, Friday afternoon is Venice. Yeah, because that's the missing class, isn't it? That just somehow disappeared. So Friday afternoon is Venice in watercolours. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing your pieces, and I'll check out Chris's as I log off now. So thank you. Take care. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Bye. Bye.